towards Carter Road. There's a road that goes down alongside of it. It's not very well used, but there's a couple houses back. It's called Poe Road, and that comes out down.
Oh, it comes back out on Carter Road.
Carter Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize it went all the way through there, but that would have been on your grandfather's farm, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're going to talk about that, you can start now.
You wanted to ask me about them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about going to school locally in those days. There were a lot of youngsters in the neighborhood of all ages. How did school work?
Well, went to one-room school. I went up into 5th grade. That's as high as it went. A little bit before then, I used to go to 8th grade, but for some reason, the 6th, 7th, and 8th were taken to Lawrenceville on the trolley. And from kindergarten to 5th was in the Rosedale one-room school. We had a teacher by the name of Mrs. Berrien from Trenton that came out every day. Her father, I think it was her father, used to bring her out and pick her up. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes he would come on the trolley and walk down to school with us when the weather was good.
Where did the school stand?
That stood on Cold Soil Road, almost by Terhune Orchards, mm-hmm. on the north side of Cold Soil Road.
Oh, so it hasn't been moved. That's I know where the building is.
Yeah, it hasn't been moved, but it has been added to it. Mm-hmm. And when I went there up to 5th grade, I would say that there was 15 youngsters, and there was 4 in 5th grade. Mm-hmm. 2 of them in the middle of the year went to St. Paul's in Princeton, mm-hmm. Catholic school. One of them, father killed their mother, and we don't know whatever happened to her, but they took her away. Mm-hmm. And then there was 2 of us that graduated from 5th grade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did they have a ceremony of any kind?
No, they gave you some kind of a certificate. Mm-hmm. But
they used to be big on attendance in those days.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Did you have perfect attendance, or?
Oh yeah, pretty much so, except the day that the skunk got after me. But us boys, 2 boys in 5th grade, well, we had to do all the carrying of the coal, the wood, clap the erasers, mm-hmm. and kind of look after the little kids. We had a pump water. We didn't let the little kids pump. If they wanted to drink, we'd have to pump it. They're afraid they'd mm-hmm. hurt their fingers or something. Mm-hmm. But that's.
And then you had the chapel nearby.
And then we had the chapel. We went to Sunday school there every Sunday. Mm-hmm. And.
So was it was a local person that was the head of the Sunday school?
Yes, it was. His name was Boyd Muchmore. Mm-hmm. And he was the superintendent of the Sunday school mm-hmm. for many years. The only one I ever knew there. And then that kind of, during the war, or I guess it was during the war, that kind of faded out. Mm-hmm. And people went their other ways, and it was closed for quite some time. And then along came a fellow that was from Brazil, I think. His name was Rizzo, and he opened that and tried to get it going again. Mm-hmm. And he did for a while, but then it soon faded, and now it's open again as Rosedale Bible Study. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess you and I puzzled over the name Cold Soil Road. We don't know where that came from.
We don't know where that came from. Mm-hmm. One time, Lawrenceville was called Maidenhead, I think.
Yeah, very way back, yeah.
And they thought maybe Rosedale, there used to be wild roses growing along the road someplace there. They think that's where it comes from.
So when the family then needed to shop for food for a grocery store, for example, where was that?
Well, we went to Hopewell, which was Wirt's Market, and they delivered too. And reason why we went there, we used to sell them chickens. We would, on a certain day like Friday, they would order the groceries, and when they came, my grandfather and my grandmother and I and maybe another employee, we would kill 25 roosters and pluck them and clean them, and they would take those roosters back, or give them a crate of eggs. We had, I think we had maybe 300 chickens, and we sold chickens and eggs to them after they moved to Pennington. Then the McVeigh boys took over the business in Pennington.
Yeah, I was going to have you trace that. I mean, most people don't know that there's a history even behind the Pennington market.
Yeah, see that, but Elmer
where did Wirtz go after Hopewell?
To Pennington.
Oh, I was thinking they were in High Gila for a while.
High Gila?
Yeah. No?
No.
Okay, so they came into town in Pennington on North Main
But a
Street.
short time later, the McVeigh boys bought it. And
then the McVeighs moved the market out of the shopping center.
I think they did.
Yeah.
I think they did. Yep.
And so even our Pennington market goes way back into Hopewell Borough for its history.
Yep, that's right. And there was the American Store and AMP and all those. And Hopewell had American Store, AMP, Wirt's Market, Skanks Market. Pennington had Lemmings Meat Market. There by the Methodist Church, I think that was American Store in Pennington. And a lot of grocery stores.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to mention today, or we can save some material for another time?
I guess that's it, Dave.
Okay, that's great, John.
Okay.
Yep, you're quite a resource. To know everything you know is a big piece of the history.
Fortunately, I'm be 85. I got a good memory. Very good memory.
That's the key to it, yeah.
Now, I was puzzled on a couple people's names on the picture I showed you where your grandfather was. And I woke up in the night trying to think of what that guy's name was. But
yeah, I think that's the one, the visit to Eshelman feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one that we'll want to reproduce and possibly show within this film, and we can straighten the names out and tell who all those folks were, because that was quite a neighborhood, and that was a trip that was organized by your grandfather.
Right.
Yeah. And your father's in the picture too, isn't
They entertained all his customers for a day out there, and when and I did that too to some of my customers. But I would take maybe 4 of them or 3 of them out and drive them out and take them through the plant. We had a plant in Lancaster, York, Circleville, Ohio, Quarryville, and Tampa, Florida.
And that was Eshelman Feed.
Eshelman Feed, Red Rose Feeds, and it was owned by, they were Quakers, a really good family business. And as time went by, they had to get a little bit more modernized, but the younger people didn't want to put any money into it. They had, one of them had a burlap company and one had a seed company, and they had two franchise, Chrysler and Plymouth franchises, and the feed business they wanted to get away from. So they sold it to Carnation, and Carnation picked up. And the mills, the one in Lancaster is closed down. The York mill is still, and I don't know about Tampa, and Quarry Bill's still in. Yeah. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, well, thank you again, John. It's
All
been
right.
great.
That was terrific. I'm blown away by how much you remember. Good memory. People's names,